I'd like to talk to you more about men because I'm currently researching to write a nonfiction book about men and basically how, as boys, we kind of the humanity's taken from us because we're not allowed to act like a girl or act like like we're gay, and so like you kind of lose your ability to be sad, you lose your ability to love fully, to give love fully. And I see a lot of men, I think around 30 and onwards, that if you're dampening the love and the vulnerability parts, you're not really sure why you're feeling what you're feeling. You're so disconnected from from your body. And so like even now that you're in a relationship that seems, from what you're saying seems great, are you able to better identify like, okay, my chest is getting tight. This means X, and then you can solve for it, or is this still something that like is a work in progress,
No, I've done a
as we
lot of
all
work
are?
on my own. We're always a work in progress. I got other stuff I have to fix now, but
Right.
that I'm working on really well. No, I think your point about how boys are raised differently than girls is one well taken. We've all heard the saying, "Well, man up,
Right.
man up." Well, I mean, what does that mean? That means just do what you got to do. Don't worry about the emotion of it. Um, but I think today in the divorce world for support on podcasts and books, there is a huge community of women helping women.
Right.
Almost no guys are in that conversation, right?
When for men getting divorced?
Men getting divorced or dealing with divorce afterwards.
What?
There is a huge population of women helping women get through these difficult times. There's very few male voices out there.
Actually, you know what? And I don't have a lot of examples of this from my friends, but one friend who's recently, I think, separated. I don't believe they've gone towards divorce yet, but he said now that other people that he knows that divorced before are starting to reach out to him. He realizes when they got divorced, he wasn't reaching out to them.
Yeah.
And he says a lot of men are like that. They see a guy who's getting divorced and they're like, I don't want to catch whatever the fuck he has.
Oh, 100%. And actually, divorce comes in clusters.
Right. Oh, women for sure.
Clusters of friends is where divorce happens. And that's just statistically proven. But to your point about not reaching out, people do not get it unless they've been through it. They really don't. And they'll try to reach out. And they might try to be helpful. But they
Right.
just don't know what to do. And
But
so,
what about, so why are so many women, because you said they don't know what to do, so they don't know how to reach out. And I think you're speaking specifically for men, right?
well, I think anyone. Like, I think
Okay.
if your girlfriend is getting divorced and you've never been divorced,
Yeah.
you might do the best you can to help out and give all this advice and listen and do girls' night. And all that shit you're doing might not actually be helpful. Some of it might. But
Right.
then if you unfortunately have to go through divorce, you're going to be like, oh my God, none of that helped. That isn't what they needed. And,
Right.
and so
But like
that's just
you're
what
saying
this
in
is.
the like the podcast social media space, most outlets are mostly geared towards women.
Yeah, 100%.
See, and I've even seen statistics that women will often call for divorce more often than men, and obviously people are interpreting like, oh, interpreting. I got that word. Interpreting that it's because men are so much more difficult to be in relations with, and I would argue. I'd say people are still 50-50 because relationships, like you said, are just difficult. But I think a lot of men are taught to like just continue to bear down, like close off your emotions even more and just deal with it until you have a really bad drinking problem. Whereas I
Right.
think women are more attached to their emotions sooner so they can realize, oh, this situation is so bad and toxic for me. I finally need to get out. And that's a testament to women that I wish more men had to realize when they were feeling
And
more
also,
miserable.
it's a change in society and economics. For a long time, women stayed married because they couldn't afford to do anything else.
Right.
Right now, women have their own careers, they have their own income streams, they have their own wealth, which makes getting divorced easier than not having anything. The people that are most frightened when they come into my office, and this can be either men or women, but the spouse that stayed home, raised the kids, does never finished college, doesn't have a career, and has no idea how to work the finances, and has been living this very lovely life, right?
Right. I have heard that from women in my life that have gotten divorced, and they didn't realize how scared they were until they started going through it and being like, well, we went from high school to university to jobs and living together, and they had no idea how to operate their own life without the input of a spouse or a child and
Being on your
things
own.
like that.
I think being on your own is an important skill set to learn.